A young ventriloquist is touring the clubs, and one night he's doing a show in a small club in a small town in Arkansas. With his dummy on his knee, he's going through his usual dumb blonde jokes when a blonde woman in the fourth row stands on her chair and starts shouting, "I've heard enough of your stupid blonde jokes. What makes you think you can stereotype women that way? What does the color of a person's hair have to do with her worth as a human being? It's guys like you who keep women like me from being respected at work and in the community, and from reaching our full potential as a person, because you and your kind continue to perpetuate discrimination against, not only blondes, but women in general. And all in the name of humor." The ventriloquist is embarrassed and begins to apologize when the blonde yells, "You stay out of this, mister. I'm talking to that little jerk on your knee." How many Yankees does it take to screw in a light bulb? None. That's what rednecks are for. A newlywed farmer and his wife were visited by her mother, who immediately demanded an inspection of the place. While they were walking through the barn, the farmer's mule suddenly reared up and kicked the mother-in-law in the head, killing her instantly. At the funeral service a few days later, the farmer stood near the casket and greeted folks as they walked by. The pastor noticed that whenever a woman would whisper something to the farmer, he would nod his head, yes, and say something. Whenever a man walked by and whispered to the farmer, he would shake his head, no, and mumble a reply. Curious, the pastor later asked the farmer what that was all about. The farmer replied, "The women would say, 'What a terrible tragedy,' and I would nod my head and say, 'Yes, it was.' The men would ask, 'You wanna sell that mule?' And I would shake my head and say, 'Can't. It's all booked up for a year.'" Once there were 3 bats. They lived in a cave surrounded by 3 castles. One night the bats made a bet to see who could drink the most blood. The first bat comes home one night and has blood dripping off his fangs. The other 2 bats are amazed and asked how much blood he had drunk. The first bat said, "See that castle over there? I drank the blood of 3 people." The second bat goes out on his night and comes back with blood around his mouth. The other 2 bats are astonished and ask how many people's blood had he drunk. The bat said, "See that castle over there? I drank the blood of 5 people." The third bat goes out on his night and comes back covered in blood. This was totally amazing to the other 2 bats. They ask how much blood he drank. The third bat said, "See that castle over there?" And the other bats nod. "Well," says the third bat, "I didn't.